I thought I should post an update on WWE's former Divas champion Maryse. I mentioned her during the Night of Champions recap, and it's now reported that she did indeed injure her knee during her match with Mickie James. There is no word yet on whether Maryse will have to undergo surgery for that knee. Now, just the other day, she was in Birmingham, Alabama, visiting Dr. James Andrews, if I remember correctly, and they examined to what extent she was injured, whether she needed time out, whether she needed surgery. Still, there is no word on how serious that injury is. She wasn't on Monday Night Raw this past Monday, and it also stands pretty clear here that Mickie James was booked to win the WWE Divas Championship, and that Maryse's injury did have nothing to do with that title change. This is also the same knee that Maryse injured last year when she early this year, maybe it was early this year. Maryse was the current longest reigning champion, actually. Before now, she lost the title to Mickie James. She won the title in December, somewhere around Christmas, I believe it was. The SmackDown being the closest to Christmas. She won it from Michelle McCool. Had the title now for about 7 months, so it was due for her to maybe lose that title. Her days were numbered, so to speak. Yeah, it was that same knee that she tweaked early this year. That time she was out for about 6 weeks. That time doctors and WWE officials also thought that the injury was worse than it really was, and she was back in about 6 to 8 weeks in the ring again, and she could keep her title without having to forfeiting it. I really hope that it's the case this time as well. What speaks against it is that it might have been that Maryse tried to wrestle her way through this injury, not getting the proper treatment last time she injured it. So I'm afraid we will have to wait a couple of months before we see Maryse again. And for me, this is a blow. She is one of my absolute favorite divas, along with Natalie Neidhart and Mickie James. Right now she has an enormous amount of charisma. She has that in-ring psychology, that in-ring presence. She has that presence of mind. She knows exactly where she's at, and she's having that using that old heel classic style. I mean, watch her matches. There is a lot of antics going on before the match actually starts, where she works the psychology of her opponent. She just tries to play with the crowd, and it almost always takes a few minutes before the action actually starts. And Maryse is really good at this. Remember, she's a pretty new diva in the ring. She made her debut on WWE television last year, and going from being a diva that WWE management saw as a problem due to backstage attitude problems and her confrontation with Michelle McCool last fall, she is now perhaps WWE management's favorite diva, and they have really high hopes in her, for her to elevate the women's division. And to me, she could very well become the next Trish Stratus. She's a Canadian too. I really like Canadians. Canadians, to me, tend to have that psychology, that presence, and there is a great tradition of very good female and male wrestlers coming from Canada. No offense to American wrestlers. There are good American wrestlers too, of course. So all we can do right now is just hope and pray that Maryse will come back as soon as possible. She is a great add to the WWE Women's Division. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Have a nice day.